I hope you're not one of the team leaders making this massive mistake, but if you are, I've got an easy solution for you. And the mistake is this. It's the mistake of thinking that the way to increase the sales of your team is to pour more coaching, more support, more systems, more ads into your existing agents. Now, I'm going to assume that you've got some sort of onboarding process, and I'm going to assume that you've got some sort of training in place, okay? So with those two things out of the way, the thing that you need to understand about human nature is that agents are only going to be as motivated as they are motivated. You can't motivate somebody to do something that they are not motivated to do themselves. Now, I know how frustrating it is to speak to an agent who's got these big goals set for themselves and then to sit back and watch them for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks do absolutely nothing to move the needle towards achieving those goals, despite you're setting them up with a great plan, strategy, and opportunities to do all those things, to say nothing of your infrastructure and coaching, okay? But that is, again, human nature. There's no way for you to be able to completely unlock somebody's desire to take action. Can you give them strategies to use? Absolutely. Can you give them support in getting there? Absolutely. Can you create accountability groups to move the needle? Absolutely. And do those things have some impact? Yes, they certainly do. But the greater impact that those things have is on community building and on retention. Now, if you're building a team or you have a team, certainly those things will sustain and in some cases help grow your production levels, but not substantially. We're just talking about maintaining that baseline with those tools. The truth is, to solve this challenge of increasing your production, you need more agents on your team. And if you're in the early stages of building your team, undoubtedly you'll be concerned about the concept of chopping the pie up even further and the existing agents on your team feeling like they're going to have less opportunities for them. There are easy scripts and solutions to solve that problem, I can assure you. That's the context of another video. But what I want to tell you that motivates people is a change, okay? Big changes, like having new people come into your team, motivates agents to do well. You bring in 5 new people and one of those people is a real hustler. The agents that have been on your team for a year, 2 years, or 3 years are looking at this person who's just stepped into your infrastructure, your systems, your support network, and your coaching, and is having immediate success, and they start asking themselves a different kind of question. And the question that they are asking themselves is, what's so special about this person that they're having that success that I'm not having? Undoubtedly, what you'll find is that they're seeing this new person follow the systems, leverage the coaching, and better leverage the opportunities that existed already for them, but that they'd begun to take for granted or just gotten a little bit lazy or maybe uninspired or even burned out. But that competition, not directly between them and the opportunity, because we would have already addressed that. Like I said, there is no scarcity in the way that we build teams. But that person achieving success is inspiring to people around them. And you may say, well, Courtney, I've got this person who says they're going to leave if I bring somebody else in. Let them. Mel Robbins just wrote a really good book called Let Them. And the thing about having a team is that an unfortunate reality that happens to some team leaders, maybe all team leaders at some point at very least, is they start to feel like they've been held hostage by the agents themselves. And that's a terrible feeling, I know, because I've felt it myself and many team leaders have as well. But I want you to know that when you have a recruitment funnel and a good system for attracting new agents to your organization, what you're going to find, first of all, is that your culture improves and your production improves. Now, if you're worried that an agent walking out the door is going to take a bunch of business with them, that tells me that your splits are probably so high that you're really not making any money on the deals that they're doing anyway. And if they're working on a split that is favorable for you, I don't know, let's just say it's a 50-50 for easy math, well, there's a really good chance that a lot of those opportunities are opportunities within your team that they're taking advantage of. Well, guess what? Those are still going to stay within your team. And a new agent with more enthusiasm and more energy and a better attitude will close more of those opportunities. And so the math that I've determined over the years, and it's not exact, but if I have a 40 unit per year producer that leaves my team, let's just say, okay, and I bring in 2 agents, maybe even 3 that have the goal of, say, doing 15 or 20 transactions per year, they'll eat up those former opportunities, say 20 or 30 of the original 40 were from the company. They'll eat up more of those, but most importantly, here's what you're going to notice, is that they'll also scrounge and find even more opportunities that were being left untapped by that 40 unit producer because they were just too busy or they were happy with where they were in their career. So they really weren't hustling to work those slightly harder opportunities. They weren't digging as deep in their motivation or in your database to find those opportunities. But you bring in 2 or 3 new hungry people and you're going to find that your numbers improve. And here's the beauty of that. You're no longer being held hostage because these new people are looking at all the opportunity that you've created for them. They're incredibly grateful for it, and they're leveraging more of it than the person who has left the organization. Now, the challenge that you might not have noticed in this is that you do always need to be recruiting. And you might say, well, Courtney, I really just prefer a high-performing team of 5 agents. I've got people that have been with me for years, and I just really love it, okay? And I'm just gonna tell you that I can almost guarantee you that you're leaving a ton of cash on the table, that you're already being held hostage in some capacity, and that if you were to scale up and continue to do so, just modestly, that you would notice a change in culture that was very favorable. You wouldn't notice a significant change in what was required in terms of your service model, so long as you didn't slide into scarcity and start over-delivering on things that you really didn't need to do. And you'll find that the job actually gets easier for you. Now, I found it very difficult having a team with 2 agents, 3 agents, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 agents. The magic number for me, my organization, the infrastructure that we've had, the market price of a home, the average commissions and all those things was about 12 agents. Now you can do it less if your price point's higher, but back in those days, our average price point was about 300,000, okay? And our average commission's about 2%. Now we capture 3% on listings, but you get the point. And so in order for us to have me completely out of production, profitable, enjoying the work, pouring in a way that was meaningful and impactful and profitable for me, was around that 12 to 15 agent range. And then once you've established the systems to get yourself to that point, it really becomes very simple to grow past that. But that Death Valley, depending on where you're at, for a lot of teams, it's like 150 to kind of 200 transactions where the team leader's like dipping their toes into being out of production, but not quite able to be there due to them, feeding the team with their production, is around that threshold, 150 to 200 units, or it's kind of like 12 to 15 agents. So I would encourage you, if you haven't already, to get serious about recruitment and to stay with that recruitment model, whatever it is that works. And we certainly have systems that we can support you with if you need that. But be mindful that growth and that recruitment and those ways of improving the culture and the profitability of your team, the answer is with new people. You're not going to keep everybody forever. That should never be the intent of your building a team, not to have like this best friend that works for you and by your side and this other person who's a 40 unit a year producer. Like, it's just unsustainable to expect that those people will be with you forever. And I'll tell you the story. So we've been at this now 15 years, and today our longest standing team member has been with us 10 years. He's now our president. And our longest standing agent would be probably 7 years and then 6 years after that. But we've had 100% turnover in the rest of the time. Is that hard? Yes. Is it emotional in the beginning? Yes. Does it hurt your feelings? For sure it does. But like all things, it becomes part of the business. And if you've got a structure in your organization where you can continue to support agents as they grow, as they do more deals, so that they can make more money and have more opportunities, either through improved commission splits as they do more sphere of influence deals, or more support through showing partners or sharing admin people, whether it's allowing them to not attend your meetings at a certain point in their career, or putting them in leadership roles, moving them through a success trajectory in their career within your team, up to the point of even enabling them to build a team within your team, then your retention will stay high. But it's not until you've got those things in place and not until you've got that strong core group of agents that you'll be able to do that, because you'll need their help in building that infrastructure. Now, of course, that's all part of change management strategy. That's something that I coach on with all of my coaching clients that are either building teams or growing their teams. And so if that's something that you want to talk about in person, just go ahead, let me know, and we can have a chat about that. Maybe you're a candidate for coaching. I'll interview you and see if you're a fit for what we do. And otherwise, just like and subscribe, because I give almost all this stuff away for free. So feel free to like and follow. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and you'll get lots more free value there too. Okay, take good care.